Liam Smith will take on Chris Eubank Jr. again this summer, so not too long to go. We did think it was going to be Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. Not to be. We're going to go straight back in with it. Let's hear from both, starting with Liam Smith, who says he won't need to change anything to ensure he beats Eubank Jr. again.
No, I don't need to change nothing. Everything I've done in the last camp worked. Everything, again, take Chris Eubank Jr. away. I'll prepare the way I always prepare for the fight, and my sparring partners seem to work perfectly for me. So it's not really me who has to change this time. My results speak for itself. It's Chris who needs to change.
Liam Smith, they're super confident, and you're going to be, aren't you? I mean, you knocked him out already. You've hurt him. Now you know you can hurt him. Nothing Eubank does will be a surprise. How shocked are you this fight's happening first, Gareth, as opposed to the Conor Benn fight? Before we talk about sort of the intangibles of it, are you surprised that Eubank Jr. has gone this route as opposed to Conor Benn?
No. I think he might have got words that Conor Benn was doing his case with UKAD for a start, which he is. So I don't know that for a fact, but logically, I think it was on the cards at one time. I mean, I'd heard behind the scenes Eubank was asking for a certain amount for that fight in Abu Dhabi on June the 3rd that they'd mooted for Conor Benn's return. Just digressing, of course, the right things happened in my view, that there is a proper hearing, the evidence is being placed in front of you, or has been placed in front of UKAD, and Conor Benn's young enough to serve a ban to be able to come back. That's all of that is good as far as I'm concerned, because the veracity of boxing's testing system is not being examined and attacked by loopholes. And hopefully it will lead to a change where all territories and jurisdictions agree with, if it's someone's banned in one place, they're banned everywhere else as well.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more.
It's a way forward for the sport, Agreed. That's not a witch hunt against Conor Benn.
No, not
That's
at all.
Just the way it should be.
This could be a guy called Richard James. It's just that the name on the letter is Conor Benn.
Exactly.
It could be anyone.
No, I'm not surprised in the end. I thought, if you recall, if none of this had happened, we would have got Ben Eubank anyway on October 8th. Yeah. We would never have got this. Yeah. Well, we might have got this fight at some point down the line. But no, I think Chris Eubank's such a proud warrior that there's no way he could walk away, as I used that expression earlier, crumpling into the corner from 9 power punches. And he couldn't walk away from that. Now, if he puts up a much sterner battle this time, and I'd never seen him in that kind of situation. George Groves, a huge man. He went 12 rounds with people like George Groves. James DeGale obviously was, probably very end of his career, but much bigger guys. I'm not taking anything away from Beefy Smith, but we know what he's going to do. He's going to walk Eubank down, and he's going to let his hands go. And he's going to get his head on his chest, and he's going to let his hands go. And he's going to try and time Chris Eubank, and he's going to let his hands go. We're going to get a similar fight all over again. But this time, Eubank has got to be... I mean, he dropped his hands. He was overconfident. I do agree he was complacent in that fight. Because up to then, he looked like a maestro in that
I think the round prior to that, I was thinking he's got his groove on.
Yeah, but it was a shock the way it ended. And I think... he's probably getting paid royally for it. It won't do 1.5 million pay-per-view buys, unfortunately. But it's a fight he had to take. And as Liam Smith said, Eubank's biggest problems now, to quote him, is he's got demons to overcome.
Yeah, talking of those demons, let's hear from Eubank about not allowing his corner to stop a fight for him. Again, obviously, it wasn't stopped by the corner, but Roy was on the apron ready to throw the towel in. This is what Eubank had to say about it.
This is my life. This is what I do. If I'm getting hurt, if I'm in a position where things aren't going my way, I'm not having another man throw in a white towel to stop a fight to try and save me.
Isn't that his job to protect you?
It's my job to protect me.
Okay.
I'm not going to have somebody else. The only person, in my opinion, that can stop a fight or should stop a fight is the referee. Do I agree with his stoppage? No. Do I respect it? Yes. You know, I've never had this conversation with Roy about towels being thrown in because it's never even crossed our minds that that's something like that was ever going to happen. But, you know, now I will have that conversation with him. You know, do not bring a towel anywhere near my corner. If you see sweat running off of the top of my head, wipe it off with your hand.
Eubank, quite comical in that answer, saying Roy, he won't allow Roy to even bring the towel to the ring. Look, it's funny he says that, but he's also got to understand, and he does understand. He's been around the sport a long time. Like, you can be saved for another day, and he was saved by the ref. Hence why he's actually here.
Exactly.
Liam Smith would have done him some damage if that fight was allowed to continue.
Yeah, absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. That is the whole point, that he's lived to fight another day. Had he been horribly knocked out, rather than down and out and then back on his feet again, you know, a couple of minutes later, we probably wouldn't be getting the rematch. But this is the right decision of his to do it. If Liam Smith beats him twice, then he beats him twice. But Eubank's got a lot to do in this fight that could help him raise his stock again, because at the moment, you know, it did leave his reputation in a mess.
Yeah.
But I personally think Liam Smith disagrees with this, that the whole weight cut thing is fabricated, but I do think it affected him. I think he didn't cut weight properly for the Conor Benn fight. He did that ghost weigh-in, didn't he? On his Instagram, on his social media. And who knows what he did afterwards, how he got his body back. It was 4 months later. It was January this year, wasn't it? They fought.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what he did with his body. And for me, he should come in strong for this. It's going to be a great fight. It's a great occasion. Manchester, you know, the AO Arena is fantastic there. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Cannot wait for the fight, Eddie.